Tim. Yep. Just tell him to hold, and I'll bring the music in, and then okay.
Could you hold on for a couple seconds there before we start the show?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yes. McDuffie.
Yep, go ahead with the music. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Freedom Truth Radio Show. This is your host, the one and only Vincent E. Scott. Glad to be here tonight after last week taking off for Father's Day. And we're back again. Can you believe we've been on the air almost a year? Another 3 months, it'll be a year. So we've got to try to make that show really big and do maybe a recap on all the guests that we've had some really good guests over the past 9 months or so, and real excited about continuing on and expanding our audience. And thank you for all the faithful listeners that tune in every Sunday night, and those of you who are still learning about the show and tuning in, thank you as well. Tonight we have a very special guest on. This is a pastor friend of mine that I really admire. I really admire his work that he does in the community. He is not just a pulpit pastor, which is why I like him so much. He is one that takes it to the streets, like the old Doobie Brothers song, taking it to the streets. That's exactly what he does. He is very faithful about going out there into the highways and the hedges. I mean, he's proven it over the years with his work. He's been a former chaplain at the Passaic County Juvenile Detention Center. He's been a former chaplain at the hospital. I'm trying to get the proper name for that hospital. But also he's worked in the Patterson School District. And he's just all about trying to resurrect the community in his area and taking his platform of being a pastor out into the streets and working with community leaders and making his face and voice known so they can help him implement the programs that he has in mind to make our neighborhoods and our inner city counties a whole lot better. It's one thing to be a pastor and have a platform and talk about things behind the pulpit, but it's another thing to actually be active in your community, because that's what the whole premise of having a church is. If you have a church in the inner city community, that should be your working ground. You know, you shouldn't just be a place that opens up on Sunday morning and you close up shop during the week and nobody knows who you are unless they set foot inside your sanctuary. This man is just the opposite. So, Pastor Michael McDuffie, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm on line. God bless everybody. Appreciate this beautiful introduction. God bless you, man.
Welcome to Freedom Truth Radio. I'm so glad you could be on. Like I told the audience, I really like what you do. And, you know, you've come to my church a few times and you talk about all the things that you get involved with in your community up in North Jersey. And that really strikes a chord in my heart, because so many pastors are just pulpit pastors. They're not active, and they talk about everything that goes on in the political arena, and they talk about everything that goes on in the inner city community, but they're not doing anything. And it takes more than just having an inside prayer meeting to do something about it. You got to get involved. You got to get your hands dirty. And that's what I like about you. Yes. So if you want to, briefly talk about some of the things that you're doing now and some of the things that you have been involved in, and talk about some of the challenges that you've also faced in going into the inner city and dealing with some of the community leaders.
Well, first of all, I give honor to your leadership, your great radio broadcast. I hope, personally hope it continue to grow and expound, because I really think when the church is in its position, you should grow and expound. I think the church that God wants to raise up in this hour is the church that empowers the community. And a good friend of mine came to Patterson maybe 4 years ago, down his neck. They come to me, a black leader who spoke a lot about economics on Dr. King days, born to Patterson about 4 years ago. He said part of the church's weakness, we don't understand the difference between a neighborhood and a community. And our job in the church is to empower the leadership to turn neighborhoods into communities. Neighborhoods where you sleep and go to the bathroom and hang out at, but a community is viral, where you're doing something to change the culture of those things around you, cleaner streets, more opportunity for jobs, make it feel marketable, and really bring forth a type of kingdom message that empowers family bloodlines. And so as of late, I have been really going through radical change the last year. I'm already a radical pastor, but I think in the last 12 months, I've been going through a complete mindset change of what we consider church is. And we have done we've done some community leadership through not just my leadership, because I believe that you can't do anything by yourself. It's by networking and connecting dots. Right. We brought Pillar College to Patterson. We created a work study program with Hoboken's Trade School. Eastwood College. We've done programs now. We've helped create jobs for people to get jobs in security, get their security license and create jobs for them. We've connected with not only Fort Pillar College, but also connected even closer to the State County Community College, connected Pillar College, which is a 4-year college, and PCC is a 2-year college. And we've also started a program in the city called the I Am Initiative, and that stands for Infiltrate, Adopt the School, Adopt the Block, and Make Discipline Ones. And this is when I train faith-based how to adopt schools, and not just for title and say adopt the school, but how to get involved in the culture of the school, get involved in the life of a child, a teacher, a parent, and then take your message you live on Sunday and bring it into this area where the kids need it, where there might be a child that don't have a father or don't know how to read by the age of 3rd grade. You send your deacon out there and teach kids how to read. You've just been so famous and decorating pulpits, our collars and our bishop robes and swing them and diary. They are the police badges. And so I just really been talking about really the church engaging in community action and keep Christ forward and preach the kingdom. We understand that, but I've been on this real thing about really being the church that God wants us to be, not the one that American culture has tricked us to think it is. And so challenges have been, we go through this radical change. I lost practically my whole church in the last year. Yeah, 60, 70, 80, 90 members, and they started first based on me saying, listen, man, the focus is not a day out the week. It's 7 days, man. We got to change this whole thing. I'm telling the ministers, we're going into schools. We're going to adopt these schools. We're going to get involved in the lives of these kids, and we're going to reach these parents. You want to really do a gospel message? Let's take 3 kids aside. That's your new ministry. You take these 3 kids, and you work with these 3 kids. I'm not talking about chasing 300. I'm building a mega church. You take these 3 kids. That's and right. These kids, and people don't want to do that, man. They want to platform. They want to get back.
Pastor,
they want to preach from the thousands. They don't want to. They don't want to do the one-on-one and
right.
And so so it's been a rough year, but it's been a great year because I come to find out you accomplish more with a few than so many, and so that has been lately my greatest challenge.
Why do you think that you see so many pastors now just going after the glitz and glamour of trying to get numbers, and they're not focusing on targeting the smaller problems or the things that can escalate into bigger problems by hitting smaller numbers, like you're saying, just maybe get a few kids here, start with them, and let that expand? Why is that, and especially in this day and age?
You know why? Because I think we suffer from the Jethro principle. In the Old Testament, when Moses had these 3 million Jews, Jethro saw Moses with all these people trying to solve all their problems, and his father-in-law put Moses aside. And let me say, what you do is not right, man, which means not wise. We see you to point groups of hundreds, 50s, 1,000, and then you put certain leaders over them, and you delegate the big matters, the smaller matters to them, and the large matters you take care of, which means the power of delegation and placing oneself. Our American model church is all about the one Superman getting all the glitz and glamour.
Yes.
And if the prayer, I don't pray the prayer will get a breakthrough. If I don't anoint you, ain't going to happen. I don't touch you, my prayers go hide in your prayer. We got this type of Superman Messiah thing that the pastor is everything to everybody, and that's why pastors are dying. They're dying because that was not the model that God set up. So reason why people say, okay, people come to me, right, and I hear this all the time. I'm called a ministry. I'll be like, so what does that mean? What do you mean you call a ministry? Praying to me. Well, you know, God woke me up last night and told me I'm called a ministry. I said, man, I should spell the word call. He said C-A-L-L. I said, cover the letter C. Everybody call. What does that mean you call a ministry? Explain that to me. Everybody's called a ministry. Everybody's called. Now, what you might be saying, I know what you're really saying is, I'm called to be the next pastor of this church. I'm going to get licensed.
There you go.
I can wait for my Sunday to shine on Sunday. And so when he died, I take over the church. See, that's our mind of church, and that's not God's church. That's what America came up with. We just passed it all down the line, and it's not operating in the capacity and the level that we're supposed to. So when I come on the scene and start talking about how God wants the church to grow, they think I'm crazy. I'm not the crazy one. The system is off. Because we think that the success of ministry is built on a Sunday morning service at 11 o'clock when all churches are doing it at the same time. Why are there churches on Thursday night? Why are there churches on Thursday morning? Why? Churches should be going. The book of Acts says they had church every day from house to house and from temple to temple. It wasn't no American church at 11 o'clock a.m. and once a month communion service. That's what we came up with. So now you start talking about training people as community leaders. That's church. You go to the police department, and you got 5 officers. Can't come to Sunday church. They work on Sunday, and they call you and they tell you, come teach me the word every Sunday, every Thursday night at my lunchtime because I can't make it on Sunday. And those 5 officers sit around the table. I'm having church with those 5 officers. And so we go, that's not real church. Why isn't it? Because we have reduced God to the hour of a week when Christ is the Sabbath, which means every day. So we need a change of our mindset when we come with what we really call the word church. And I think that's a major weakness about today's church.
Wow, that's amazing, the way you developed that concept, because what I'm finding out is that, as we said earlier, not too many pastors want to get their hands dirty. It's like, well, let those city workers deal with that. But if they understood the impact and the power of involvement and going out in communication, they could really take control of their communities and actually make it a community, because really right now we don't have any communities. All we have is neighborhoods, and there's a big difference.
That's basically neighborhoods, and we just having church by ourselves on Sunday on the corner.
So it goes beyond just once a year giving turkeys out on Thanksgiving. It's going to getting some of these boys off the street and teaching them about business. See, the thing is, we can't depend on the school system to totally educate our children when, in fact, we know that everything in the school system is not giving them the tools that they need to succeed in life. Because I'm learning things. I'm learning things in my 40s that I should have learned a long time ago in school, like to prepare me for life. And so with that in mind, the fact that these pastors have these churches, which is established as a nonprofit organization, why not take the power of that nonprofit and expand that to the community and say, okay, whatever you're not getting at church, why don't we bring these boys in off the street, teach them about trades, teach them about entrepreneurship, teach them about credit system, teach them about real estate. And I don't think people realize the power of having a nonprofit, which you have access to. You have access to all this funding. You have access to getting real estate gifted to you. There's no reason why within a 3-mile radius of you having a church that anybody should be homeless, hungry, or destitute. It makes no sense.
Brother, you just said something that would get you crucified.
Well, this is the Freedom Truth Radio Show. One thing about this, I don't care nothing about what folks say about my show because it's on an independent network. So that's why I say what I want.
I love it. That's what gives you the power to express, and you're going to give perspective. You're going to shake the culture.
Yeah.
And the reason why your words are so powerful because they're so truthful. But when I hear someone speak truth, it's dangerous because if you build your whole system off of lies,
oh yeah,
making money off of it, and you're getting paid, I'm not going to let you come in and mess with
somebody's paycheck. That's right.
I'm living. I'm comfortable. I'm driving my 2 cars. I'm getting my kids to college. I'm not going to let you come there and shake this apple cart.
You messing me up.
I don't want my people to learn how to catch fish. I want my folks to stay at the table and keep eating the fish I'm giving them. But the freedom from the system means that you're going to have to change what you do.
Right. Right.
So when you start talking about radical changes, what you're honestly saying, man of God, is really what the church needs. I'm telling you what people should do. Now, if I believe it's going to happen, if I was the pastor, I will go get you, hire you to come in and teach every week to our nonprofits about how to do real estate, how to do nonprofit, make you part of my ministerial staff and hire you as a consultant, and let you come in and train my people. And then I get out the way as I'm not preaching that 4 or 5 Sundays. He is going to talk on the Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, what we call the highlight service, and let him talk to you guys about finances, about taxes, about nonprofits, and educate and equip our people, man. But our service is not set up for equipping. It's set up for sermons. Don't confuse sermons with equipping. Equipping means you furnish them with the material for the journey they're going. So if I'm a pastor and I don't have the equipment in my church, I'm supposed to go get it.
There you go.
A therapist, I gotta go get a doctor, I gotta get a lawyer, and I'm equipping the saints. So when the saints come to church, we're not equipping, we just for church service.
That's right.
They'll be getting mad at me, but this is how our system is set up, man. So you start talking about transforming neighborhoods and communities, the power of the CDC, creating work-study programs.
Right.
Folks about health and fitness, why you should know your history. We don't think that's church unless everything got Jesus' name in it.
Well,
and that's what has been our greatest weakness, man. Has killed
it really is.
The
and you know, it's problematic because we don't really recognize the power of. We say it all the time in church: kingdom building, and we think kingdom building is just getting more members in church, and that's not what it is. Because I used to listen to Dr. Miles Monroe, and he talked about the governmental structure of a kingdom. And if you are living under the governmental structure of a kingdom, that means you follow certain rules. So therefore, if you are a church in a community or in a neighborhood, and you are following the rules that you go by within the doctrinal boundaries of Scripture, that means that you have the power to set up your own government, and you don't have to go. You can actually be sovereign to the government of this so-called United States, because most of the law, what they call law and the color of law that's written within the code of government is stuff that we don't believe in. So why aren't we taking that power and harnessing it and causing it to be a leverage tool where we can create our own government within that community, and those that come to live it, they come underneath the government of the kingdom of the Most High, kingdom of the Creator, and we go by the rules written in Scripture, which is supposed to be our code book. You know, and you know, we got this whole thing backwards. We still out here voting and stuff for presidents, and they're not doing anything to help us. And what people don't recognize is that if you talk about the fact that there's a liquor store right next to your church, but you're not doing anything about it. You talk about the fact that there's drug dealers down 2 corners down from where your church is, but you're not doing anything about getting them to change, because it's not so much about getting the drug dealer to move to a different location or getting rid of him out of the community. The thing is offering him a different tool that he can make, because really the drug dealer is one of the best and greatest entrepreneurs in the community, but he has to find ways to implement those tools where he can make just as much money, if not more, doing something better and something that's legal. The first thing you tell him, if you take away my drug dealing, what you got better than this? I'm not going to work at McDonald's for $10 an hour. I need to make the money, pull the money in I'm making, and there's ways to do that if you give him the tools to do so. And if you're not going to use your platform as a pastor or as a church, then there's really, you're just another building in the neighborhood.
Yep. And the sad thing is, my brother, you're actually very prophetic, and that exposure of truth that you bring to the table, it is dangerous to the present cultural church we run in our community, especially our urban communities. Yes. Because the truth be told, if there's 3 churches within a 3-mile radius, and them 3 pastors don't even talk and plan together, they're actually competing amongst each other with the same people. And so so you across the street from my little church, you got 5 musicians, I don't have any. You would think the pastor would loan a musician to you, or you got 5 cars in your driveway.
Oh no, they got to pray for their own musicians. The pastor would give you a car.
Oh my God, they won't let you use a band. I mean, you got a church that you only get to open once a week because you're renting. You got a church that's closed. The doors are closed Thursday and Friday. You got a youth ministry, no place to go. So you go across the street, the guy says, "No, you're not part of my church," and they lock the door. That's the mentality that's going on in our community, and that's why our communities lay waste. What's the matter? Dr. Claude Anderson. That's why I brought Claude Anderson to Patterson in 2000.
I love Dr. Claude Anderson.
2012 or 13.
Yes.
Yeah, love him. I brought him to my house, everything. He stayed with me and everything.
That's great. I'm trying to get him on the show.
I brought him to Patterson. He rode through the streets of Patterson and was crying when I was pulling up. He said, "How you live in these type of neighborhoods?" He said, "I can't." But he was so broken. When I got into church, he spoke, people tuned in and stuff. And he said, "I can't believe y'all live in these type of neighborhoods." People think he's so shocked. He said, "What are you churches doing?" I said, "Man, that's the problem. We're just having church." And he just put it in, man. He broke down history. He talked about the church, how it's off. It's not focused on economic development. And when you get the economics, you control the political realm.
That's right.
And he broke it, man. And he made no friends. He didn't care whether you was Barack Obama or Trump. He went in on all of them, man. And he said, "You get mad all you want." He said, "The church got the power to turn neighbors to communities, but not do we have a church amongst ourselves." And so when I heard Dr. Claude, man, that is exactly where my mindset is.
Wow.
So, man, you are on it, man. You're on it, brother.
Well, I'm thankful for that because I have such a passion. I'm just really tired of seeing so many churches. We got just as many churches as we do liquor stores in our urban communities, and nobody's doing anything. It's not turning our communities around, and it's sad because everyone else that comes to this country on an immigrant status has the ability, and they take the ability to turn their neighborhoods or take control of their neighborhoods and turn it into a community, and they are under the auspices of self-governance. You can't go. None of us can go in Chinatown and say, "Oh, I want to buy this building here and start a clothing store." You can't do it because they got that on lockdown.
You can't do it.
You can't go into the Jewish community and do it. You can't nowadays. You can't even go into the Hispanic community because they've developed themselves to the point where they have it on lockdown and they have control of their own communities. They have their own education system. They have their own religious practices. They have their own stores. And that's what one of the things that Dr. Claude Anderson talks about is the fact that within those communities, the dollar is circulated between 12 to 18 times. In our community, it's circulated once, and it's out the door.
Once and out.
And we have the greatest buying power in this country. I'm telling you right now, the one of the things that we had, if we could do this, if we all just stopped shopping at Walmart, we shut it down.
That's so true, brother.
We shut it down.
So
serious.
True. Yep. Hello?
Well, Pastor McDuffie, I want you to talk about some of the things that you have done within the school system up in Patterson, because I know if anybody has watched the movie Lean on Me, they know that that Patterson School District is a very troubled school district, and it has been for years. And I'm sure there's been some changes, but for now, since the generations have passed, there's probably been some different challenges that have come forth, and you work with that school system. So talk about some of the things that you implemented, some of the programs.
Well, let me just say something. You mentioned two things. I just got to just back up and just really just let you know how encouraging it is to hear what you said. First of all, Dr. Miles was my apostle. I met Dr. Miles in 1991. We were very close.
Okay.
So I was down there in November when his plane went down and the plane crashed.
Oh, wow.
I was, my wife and I were celebrating our anniversary in November 6th.
Okay.
We was on our way back, and his plane was crashing almost at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I had to spin around and come back for his funeral. And every book that Miles ever wrote, he autographed and gave it to me. That's how close Dr. Miles got.
Wow.
So the kingdom message really came through Dr. Miles.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you who really gave me a word way back in the early 80s, and they call him crazy, but the brother was on it. And that was Bernard Jordan from New York.
Got you.
Bernard Jordan was he a prophet. He was radical, man, but he was talking about racism. He was talking about economic development.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about buying a block. This brother was way ahead.
He was talking about that years ago. Yes.
Oh my God. So a lot of that I got from Dr. Miles and got from Bernard Jordan, I was putting it into the school system because I was the one, when you see Lean on Me, the movie, I was the one that bought the premiere of the Patterson. Folks understand that.
Oh, wow.
Me and Pastor Lagarde and a guy named Vince Fusco, we the one that convinced them to bring the movie to Patterson to do the grand opening at the Fabian Theater.
Amazing.
And my youth group at Agape Force Outreach, we redid the whole theater, and Joe Clark came in. We had lights, camera, action. We put together that whole program, that whole Lean on Me premiere. That was our leadership at Church Love. So if you talk about Lean on Me, get into the school, that's how far back I've been working in the school with Campus Life. And the I Am Initiative came on the scene because Superintendent was Eileen Schaefer, who is now the head superintendent. She used to assist us in putting together the program. And so when I started training churches and faith-based, I put together how to adopt schools and how to be impactful in the school district. It has caused a change in kids staying in the school. We've connected with the parents and the teachers. One of my ministers on my staff has his own office in the building. He's not even paid by the district. He raises his own money, but he comes in and has connected the school with the parent and the teacher, and he's took bus rides from the school to his program and did plays.
Wow.
This guy, my wife, does the same thing. We took this model, man, and they're actually using this now from Patterson, which trickled over to the police department. So the police department started something called the Safe City Initiative, where the faith-based connects with the police department. And we're in the school district and the police department working side by side. And the real play, man, if a cop is wrong, we call him to meet, man, and chief, please call us in. And we got this side-by-side connectivity. And I know the model is unforming because I'm training churches to think outside the box.
That's it.
But at the same time, the opposition of the old church calls you crazy.
Yep.
They don't want to support you. They don't invite you to come in to speak because they know once you come in, you're going to shift the culture of the minds of their slaves.
That's right.
What did Harry Tubman say? I freed 300.
I would have freed more if more knew they were slaves. That's right. That's exactly what she said.
So we have this message, and I don't want to offend anyone. We have this rapture message, which did more damage to the church. We got this take off and leave me, cow guy commercial type
trying
of
to
Jesus.
Beam me up, Scotty, get out of here. That's it.
Beam me up, Scotty, leave. Jehovah's Witness want it. The Jews want it. We all want the earth is given to us, and we turn it over. And the earth is your community. It's your neighborhood. It's your school system.
Your responsibility.
It's economics. It's health and fitness. But if we don't have people like yourself speaking that word and bringing folks to the table, then we're branded the nut. But the nut is the folk who keep doing the same old thing and want different results.
Insanity.
You got to change the whole. You got to change the thing. You got to change it. You got to get in there and really do the Lord's Prayer. Thy kingdom come, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Not you go to heaven. You do it on earth as it is in heaven. Don't tell me you go on the streets paved with gold and ain't no gold in your house.
You know what? Stop it.
Where's your gold? Where's your wealth? Where's your long-term insurance? Where's your short-term insurance, your long-term insurance? Where's your investment plan? Where's your stock market trading? And so because we don't have the equipment in our churches, and so because we think we're the apostle, bishop, or grand poobah from the Flintstones, it makes us feel we don't got to go get someone like yourself or go find someone that's know more than I know. I want to make friends with the doctor in the corner. I want to make friends with the dentist. I want to go bring the dentist to my Sunday morning service.
That's
and
it.
Tell them how you became a dentist. And I bring the dentist to come train our people about teeth wear. Then I go get the doctor. Then I go get the businessman. Then I go get the lawyer. And I'm developing ministry. One of my ladies in my church told me I was doing this. She said, Pastor, how you going to let that guy speak? He's not licensed. I said, yes, he's a doctor. And you take him money the next week and pay him a copay. You're going to get $1,000 for the guy on the business you do. Yeah, don't you want to know what he do? Come on. Like, we got this idea, man, that church is a little closing fraternity, and only people who come in and look like us and live like Jesus is a part of us, and not understand that we are the salt and the light. And salt alters and light brings, and light illuminates, and let them talk.
That's right.
Salt alters and light illuminates, and let them talk.
Yes.
So talking is really the least thing folk want to hear.
The
you
least.
Shine, you got to get involved. You got to get out your building, or you got to empower your ministerial staff to get out the building. You coach the team to get out. But if you dying inside and everybody's going to help you and your little people, then our whole system is off, man.
That's right.
So I'll tell you, you're under something great, brother. You're under something very great.
Well, I appreciate that. And you know, that's why I have to stay in constant communication with pastors like yourself and those that are willing to go out and do the work and try to make a difference in our community, because, you know, we're not going anywhere as far as, you know, trying to get out. And one of the things I like Muhammad Ali said a long time ago, he said, service to those in your area is the rent that you pay for space on earth. And, you know,
that's so deep.
Yeah, it is. But think about it. That's the last thing anybody wants to do is offer service or render service. Everybody wants a handout. Everybody wants them to be you know, they want people to bring stuff to them. You want to be, you know, the one that has the big ego and you're narcissistic and you want everybody to serve you, and you got all these I'm sick of these pastors with this whole entourage of armor bearers and stuff, so you need 5 people to carry your briefcase and all that kind of foolishness, and you can't go to the bathroom by yourself. It's a mess. Come on. Stop that foolishness.
It is a mess, man. Like somebody going to assassinate you. Everybody trying to shoot you, man.
Come on, ain't nobody trying to do that. First of all, you don't have nothing that they want anyway, but your alligator shoes. You know, come on.
I know, man.
You know, see, that's why I have a show, man. They don't like me in church. This is why I have a radio show. They don't like me in church because I talk about this kind of stuff and I get sat down. I'll get silenced in a minute because people don't like me. But, you know, so I got to get the message out. So I get a radio show and I talk to people like you, and I talk about people that want to, you know, make a difference. Because, you know, we got to do the work. Somebody got to do it. Somebody get their hands dirty and stop being afraid of going out there talking to the gang members. And, you know, I'm looking at, because we're in Trenton. And, you know, I'm sure you've heard about a lot of the stories that's going on for the past few months. There's been a lot of shootings. A lot of stuff happening. Yeah. And I've been talking to my producer, man, about trying to get something going, some kind of a community event to bring awareness in our community to, you know, stop this gun violence. Because there has to be something offered, something that redirects the minds of our youngsters that want to pick up a gun and take that away from them and put something. See, you can't just take that away. You have to replace it with something else. You know,
that's right.
And teach them how to stack instead of shoot. Teach them how to stack some money. You know, there's ways that you can do that and feel empowered without taking a gun and shooting your own fellow person in the neighborhood. And, you know, because you're not empowered by doing it. But, you know, we've been taught to war amongst ourselves. And so we got to do better. And those of us who are father figures, those of us in a place of leadership, we got to take control. You know, back in the day when I was growing up, every man on the street that I grew up with might as well have been my father. Because if my father didn't see me doing something, one of the other older men would say, "What you doing, boy? Get out of here and go back home if I tell your father." And, you know, you straightened up. Because and you know you couldn't get past Mr. Smith down the street, Mr. Brown down the street. If you was doing anything that you know your father wouldn't approve of, they was going to tell him, and you straightened up right away. And you had respect for that kind of authority. But, you know, we don't have that now.
No, man. No. And that is part of the thing called a village raising a child.
That's right.
The village is fighting over territory, fighting over the state members and not working as a team. What do we expect happening?
Right.
You know, and I know people hate when I say this, but I tell you, man, the neighborhood is based on the wealth and the knowledgeable level of the local church. And if the local church is not on its game, not on its grind, it has a trickle-down effect.
That's
and
right.
So the church really takes a lot of the brunt of the blast of what we might call churching versus doing kingdom. And,
That's right.
And it takes more than the sermons on Sundays, man. We're going to have to connect with partnerships and really get involved and turn our churches into feet on the street. And you got to get involved, man. I'm not just talking about getting the boom box and stand on the corner and say, come to Jesus. I'm talking about get involved in the system. Get involved with the wealth program. Get involved with the after-school program. Get involved with a single mother. Get involved with those in prison. We gotta go, man. We around the same people. I was joking because today we had church at Dave and Buster's today.
I saw that. I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit told me to go to Dave and Buster's, have church, and you know, you're gonna pay at least for the food. So I believe God for the money. And honestly, the stuff that they have about fake, I didn't have any money, but someone on my Facebook page saw me and cut a check to help sponsors.
Wow.
He said, I love what you're doing. He said, I don't like the regular church thing, but if you're going to do stuff like that, I'm going to help you. And send me a check from Washington, D.C. I didn't know the guy. So I said, God said, if you go in this direction, I tell you, I'll send you support, and I'll connect you with people that don't even know you. And so I said, we're going to Dave and Buster's. I got there, man. They had to be close to maybe about 35 people that met us there, man.
Amazing.
Teenagers. And people stayed around afterwards and had fun. We played pool. There was a fellowship.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, it was good to see.
Wait a minute.
Which is not new for me.
Wait a minute. The pastor was playing pool. That's the devil, man. You can't be doing that.
Of course they call it the devil, man. Because we
don't lay hands on you, pastor. You over there playing pool. That's the devil. You can't be doing that.
But see, if you're going to go down this road, I tell people, get ready to get hit because
that's right.
Ain't going to embrace it, man.
That's right.
Church, with this lady, let me tell you how deep this is, right? My wife today, we get ready, the kids coming into the Dave and Buster's. We open it. Dave and Buster's really open it at 11 o'clock a.m.
Right.
They're coming at 9 o'clock, 2 hours before the place even opened.
Oh,
that
wow.
was their first time doing that, letting the church come.
Yeah, they don't open up that early.
We got just different music. We serve breakfast. And then some lady is going in the other part of the mall with some friends, going to the mall, going shopping, right, for clothes. And one of the guys who work at Dave and Buster's was saying, hey, listen, they're having church upstairs. Y'all need to come to church upstairs. He works for Dave and Buster's. He go get them and said, I'll pay for y'all to come in. You need to go. If people die, we can't go. We got to shopping. The one girl says, I'm going to church. She came upstairs with shorts. She wasn't even dressed in church. Tank top. She kept apologizing. I said, girl, we don't wear your clothes. You here? Let's get a word. Let me tell you something, man. She got a breakthrough at our service today. If anything, if this program was just for that one girl, it was worth it.
It was worth it.
She screamed and shot up like a baby, man. God just touched her. And God said, this is the type of church I'm raising. We got to get into the gathering and take the gospel to them as legally as it can be. But break that cycle of doing something just because you did it. Or because your mama did it, or the Grand Poobah from the Flintstones did it. It doesn't matter. If it's not working, change it. If it's not effective, do something different.
Do something
different. What I'm saying? And that's the challenge. I think that the church is going to be forced to go through. I think God's going to force the church to make those changes. And it's not going to be about who owns the biggest building, who got the biggest church. It's going to come down to how many kids' lives you change, how many third-grade kids now can read at the fifth-grade level, how many kids are graduating from school, how many parents are not going to be slapping their kids around. I think that our measurement of ministry is changing, not just altar calls and folks coming to Jesus, but how much of the kingdom of Jesus is impacting our neighborhood. So through the culture of the neighborhood, people come to Christ because it's just the natural thing to do. I think that's our challenge.
That's good. That's real good. So, Pastor, I understand you got a book coming out. Why don't you take the last few minutes and talk about that and tell people how they can get a hold of that?
Yes, I've been working on this book since 2009 to this month.
Okay.
For the first time, I think it's going to probably be out in July. I got a book coming out called 177 Laws of Might. And what I actually did is it's a non-religious book, but when you read book, people that understand Christ know what I'm talking about. I'm quote scripture. I don't talk about Jesus. I just give you truths, and I use some of the history, like go back historical things impact our life, and I share truths that if you teach them to yourself or in high school or college, anyone can learn these truths, whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, an atheist, whether you're agnostic, whether you believe in nothing but Pluto on the Martian on the moon on the Mars, whatever. You can read this book and get something out of it. I'll give you one of the chapters real quick. I speak of one of my chapters about birds, ice, and thunderstorms. And I talked about 3 planes that took off in 2009, and they all fell out the sky. Flight 5049, Flight 447, and Flight 3407. All 3 came out the sky. 1 plane survived. The other 2, everybody died. Flight 447, 228 people died from France, going from France to Rio de Janeiro. And Flight 3407 came out the sky, leaving Newark, headed for Buffalo, and 49 folks died in the air. 1 father was watching TV. The plane ran into the top of the house. But the first guy landed 155 people, which were called Jesse Sullenberger, who was from LaGuardia, headed for North Carolina, and ran into birds. So birds brought him down. Ice brought 1 person down, and another one had a thunderstorm, but he was at the wrong time. So I talked about knowing when to be asleep, when to be aware. I talked about ice don't fly, so if you're hard-headed, you're going to crash. But the first guy was trained and equipped before he went in the air, so when he ran into the birds, he knew what to do. And so the person that's trained and equipped can land planes. Those who are asleep at the wrong time and those that don't understand the change of seasons and how to readapt yourself, you're going to crash and burn. And so I broke down those principles, what happened in 2009. And I said, when Flight 49 took off on January the 15th, that happened to be Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. USA Airways, United America. So this whole flight was kind of prophetic because the guy, and Barack Obama was making his speech, George Bush was making his last speech. All of that happened on January the 15th. So this plane goes up, runs into Canadian migratory birds. They migrate. They only weigh between 8 to 16 pounds, but they took on a plane weighing 100,000 pounds.
Wow!
So I talk about it's not the big thing that get us; it's the small things.
Small things, right?
You know. So I pushed. Yeah, small things. So that plane crashed. That plane came out the sky because something got inside the plane. But the guy that landed it was trained, cool, and calm. So the person that's cool and calm and centered, educated, and know the history and know the truth, they'll go through the storm. But the one that's ignorant, the one that sleep at the wrong time, the one that just do things just because everybody else do it, you're going to crash and burn. So I pull those type of truths out, man. I go into
that's good. Good principle.
I go into the Titanic. I go into all the things that happened, even about the power of the element of surprise. How you had there was deaths in Florida last year. It was on the 12th where the girl named Christian was shot, and then the next person, guy Omar Mateen, went into the gay club and shot all the men. And then the next day, the alligator took the 2-year-old boy down. All that happened in Florida, back to back to back within 6 days. What was the power of that? Take them by surprise. So I talk about the law of surprise. Don't tell everybody that you're about to do something.
That's it.
You got to take them by surprise. And that
don't let the right hand know what the left hand's doing. That's right.
Come on, brother. So you train yourself, and you know what to say, and then you know how to keep things under your belt until you come out. These guys do it all the time in corporate America. They do it in the industry. People like Puff Daddy and some of these guys are doing these billionaire corporations. They don't tell everything they're about to do. They take it by surprise, or they shock the audience, or they catch you off guard like 9/11 in America. So I teach these things in this book, man. The book is only $25. You go to my Cash app, you go on my Facebook page. If you text me out, if you're in the Patterson area, I'll bring a copy to you. And I'm offering the first 177 people that order the book, I'm going to put your name inside of my book as one of my sponsors. I pre-sold about 95 books. I'm still trying to reach 177. Okay. And once that 177 is met, those names go in my book as part of my sponsorship. And I got some people, man, that bought 1 and for themselves and bought 10. It's like when they come out, I'm going to give that to my students. Right. I have a sign-up party. So the book is real dynamic, man. It's a non-religious book, but I'm telling you something. Everybody said, Mike, when the book coming out? I'm getting it just right. I've been cultivating, cut the stuff off here and there. I had to change up some things because we had 3 presidents. You had Bush, the war president, Barack Obama, the black African president, and then Trump, the radical president. And now you got to understand how to play the game between all 3 of them. Don't get stuck in the system. Play the game. Play the game. Learn the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who the president is. Learn the game. You learn the game, you can navigate through any party and get what you want.
That's
you know,
it.
that type of stuff.
And you know, it's funny you said that because so many people were talking about the president we have now and said, "Oh, he's scandalous," and all that. That's nice, and you know what? He was scandalous before he got in office. The thing that you need to pay attention to is that he's a very shrewd businessman, and the thing that you need to take advantage of now that won't be available after he gets out of office is all the stuff and all the funding that's being made available, especially for nonprofits. It just made $27 trillion available for nonprofits just last week. And
oh my God.
Also, you know, so if you got an idea or kind of service that you want to render to the community, now is the time to start a nonprofit. You know, whether it's the church, whether it's a community organization, because there's funding available, there's money. Excuse me. There's money being made available for that kind of stuff. You can have access to it if you know the right type of games to play. Like you said, it's a game. And forget all the stuff that forget all the scandals and stuff that he's involved with. That really has nothing to do with you, because that has nothing to do with the office that he's fulfilling and holding in presidency, because he's not president of a country, he's the president of the corporation, which is the United States of America. And if you understand any president of a company, they want to change any type of benefits that's being offered for the constituents of that company. So if you realize the position that he's playing while he's in office, you would take advantage of everything that's being offered. Forget what he's doing on the back end. Forget the stuff that his personality. I think he's a schmuck anyway. But I don't have to be friends with him. But I'm gonna take advantage of everything he's offering. You know what I'm saying? I don't care nothing about his personality. He's making things available to things that you can do and platforms that you can establish within your community. Take advantage of this, because I'm telling you right now, he's only going to be in office for a certain amount of time. And when he gets out of office, stuff is going to change and flip, because I'm telling you, the people that he's in the party with don't even like him. So all the stuff he's putting in with the funding and stuff like that, that's not going to be available no more. So you got a very small window of time to operate in.
Brother. Oh, Vince, you are saying a mouthful, and we take it so personally, man.
Yeah.
Heads change all the time, man.
Come on.
I was the same with Bush. They didn't like Barack Obama. They call him the devil, too. So it don't matter who the face is.
Listen.
Look where the dollars are. They're in position.
Thank you.
Suck it dry, so when their heads change, you keep it moving. We make it so personal. And like you sitting here with this guy, I'm going to eat with this guy. Come on. Yeah. Get what you got to get. But we're small-minded, man. But Vince, your show is important. You got to continue to educate the people, man.
Yes.
We're not trained and equipped to think like this. We think like we're playing chess. We're playing chess.
Playing chess, not checkers.
Moves, man.
That's right. That's right.
We're not playing the right game.
That's right.
And it comes back to our churches, man. We're not really teaching kingdom gospel. We're just teaching a cute Bible story about Joshua fit the walls of Jericho and Moses crossed the Red Sea. Come on now. What did that do with me about getting a better job? I want to know my mother can't eat. My father got breast cancer. How does that relate? You know, how do I get dollars in? I moved from a job to wealth. How do I change from the minimum wage to creating a company to hire my own blood members? Because when it comes down to it, when layoffs are going on, they're not laying off their family. They're laying off you.
That's right. Well, we
got to change. We have to get a different mindset, man. This is powerful.
You know, I take a quote from the late great Reverend Ike, and a lot of people don't like him, but he has some principles that really you could live by. He said you can praise God a whole lot better when you got some money in your pocket. And that's the truth. But they crucified him too. But if you look at some of his principles, he was teaching right. He was trying to get you to think better. And that's the problem. We got this stinking thinking, and we don't like to, we don't like to think outside the box. We don't like to do anything that goes against the grain of our traditions. And it's not working. We've been doing this stuff for years, man. It's not working.
Oh my God, brother. We have your perception, and I've spoken a broadcast about challenging the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
You get the rejection that it deserves, because it will be rejected. But there's a core of people that would embrace what you said. One of the things in my book I also said, stop chasing the 93%.
Yes.
Now stop pursuing the 93% and the 7%. Now stop chasing the 93% and pursue the 7%. Because any culture that changes in America is based on a corporate people that are together between 4 to 7%. Which when you get a group of 4 to 7% people together and you train and equip them, they can change the 93%. But if you change the big group all the time, you're going to miss it. I got pastors coming to me now. I got Pastor Graham. We got to do a citywide revival where all the pastors come together. I said, man, I ain't doing that. See you later.
For what?
Go do that.
We've been doing tent revivals for years, and you got us nowhere.
How you do it? Because everybody gonna come. I'll preach each other, and you anoint. I'm deeper than you. I said, I'm done, man.
It's a competition.
I've been down this road. I'm not doing this much.
Come on.
I'm going to sit with some teenagers. I'm going here with these 14, 15-year-olds to sit and help them. Y'all go in the world. Hey, go ahead, go in the world. I'm going over here and save this next generation. Because I ain't got time for that. I've been down that road. And that's not the system that's working.
No.
You got to find something that's apropos to the present society that we're in, and our kingdom message must impact what's going on presently. Don't use an old methodology for a new problem. Our church system, our church world needs a system update. We don't want folk that got the same systems. Even the phone have a system update. Church folk have the same system for years and wonder why, all we got is that you going to hell and come to church. You're going to hell. You might go to hell because you use the old system.
That's right. That's right. That's a whole nother broadcast, Pastor. We got to do another broadcast for that one.
Oh my God, Mike!
Yeah, no,
man.
You're so right.
And that's why that's why you're this is where the church is headed, man. And they can act like they're not, but God's gonna start removing people, man.
Listen,
He's gonna start doing what He wants them to do.
That's right.
He ain't gonna let these people be dying, man. He's gonna start removing people.
Well, it's funny because I said this about 4 or 5 years ago, and I told my wife this. I said, all the stuff that's happening in church, I said, God getting ready to shut this whole thing down. Shut the whole thing down. You know why? Because this system, this operating system is not working anymore. It's like using Windows 98 on a computer you got now. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
It's not working. The system is too slow for the stuff that the software that you have to use for now, and it's not working, and we got to let go of that. The thing is, the problem is church today, and the people that have been involved in church for so long have a spirit of attachment, and they don't like to let stuff go. Yes. When you're kingdom minded, you use what works for now, you throw the rest away. If it don't work no more, you start something new. You got to get rid of this attachment mentality that says, okay, this is the way we've been doing it for 40 years. We got to keep doing it this way. No. It's not working no more. Get rid of that stuff.
Oh, my God. Ben, you know what? I said this on my show, and I got a lot of inbox, and a lot of people really was enlightened when I said it. I said, I've been to all night prayer meetings when the person that's praying talk to God all night. So we come at 12 o'clock to 6. And one person come up after another and pray. And so I'll be sitting back in the room saying, now, when y'all planning to let God say something? Now, if you talk all the time, when do we hear what God is saying? I want to know.
Good.
I mean, how long I could be married if I come into my house with my wife
and you I
talk all the time and never listen to her?
You never get anywhere.
Pray all night, and God don't give you no instruction what you're supposed to do tomorrow.
Come on.
We're going to come back to the same thing next month, do the same thing. I mean, that's easy, man. You keep doing the same thing. God ain't said nothing to all these prayers. Where's the assignment? Where's our location? What does God want us to do? That's why we got drug dealers in the corner. We're going to go on an all-night prayer meeting and cast out the drug dealer. I said, y'all, don't waste time. So God, we told what to do. Let's go out there and have service with them. Let's get a chair, pull out them, find out what they want to do, and let's get outside the house. Oh, no, Pastor, I'm not called to do that. What you call it?
Wait. You're not called to. What you mean you're not called to do that?
Oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. I've been down that road. I don't have time for that. I'm telling you, man.
No, you're so right.
So our systems got to be updated, man. And that's what we're the system of some serious systems updates.
Yes.
And the church that's updated will be able to flow the way I want them to flow. But those that are left behind, they'll keep doing the same old system. And like you said, that system is too slow. It's too slow. These fast-moving problems.
That's right. And, we've become very good at saying nothing well. That's the problem. We've become good at that. You know, we say stuff all day long. It has no substance, no content, and we've become very good at that. But it's not getting us anywhere. So therefore, you know, we've got to change our approach. We got to change our content. We got to learn. And the thing I really like to challenge people to do is to learn what goes on in your street. Learn what goes on in your community. Learn the language of your community. Learn the language of your generation. Like my kids, man, they on Instagram and Snapchat and all that kind of stuff. And I learned the code words. I'm like, I know what you're talking about over there. You can't be out of tune. You can't be oblivious to what's going on, because, you know, you're not going to be in tune with how to fix a problem.
That's good, man.
You have to learn how to communicate, and the language has changed over the years. If you still, you know, if you're still using, this is the problem. I've heard one bishop say this, and it really inspired me. He said, if you talk to a 45-year-old man, ask him how he's doing, you ask him today how he's doing at 45 years old, and he goes to his wallet and starts pulling out his baby pictures and talk about this was, you know, what I was doing back then. And all he has is cherished memories on what he was doing as a little child or a toddler. You're going to think something is really wrong with him, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, this is the same. This is the same problem of retardation that we have in the churches. We ask folk how they doing in church. God. We ask, how you doing? Oh, I'm saved. That's it? That's all? So you've been saved 20 years, and that's the last thing God did for you in all this time? And the only thing that you have relative to your experience in God is your first encounter with salvation. It's the same retardation problem.
It is.
It's the same thing.
It is retarded.
Yeah, you know, because retarded just means you're not growing. You know, you're growing physically, but your mind is still the same size it was when you was an infant, and that's a problem.
Wow.
I guess we'll pronounce benediction on that note.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. You are on to what the church is going to be forced to come into. It's going to be a remnant that gets a hold of this, and that can shift the culture of our communities. The church gets a hold of the message of the true word of equip the saints. Not sermonize them, not pour oil on them. Give them the equipment. Give them the stuff they need to make it. Which doesn't always mean a Bible verse. It might mean you may need to get a job. You may have to get some career training. You may have to bring someone to talk about electronics. You may have to talk about, man, go get someone like my brother Jay who build computers. Bring them in and sit down with your seniors of your church. Show them how to use the computer. We think equipping means preaching and whooping.
No,
give them the stuff they need.
Give them the stuff
to
they
direct
need
the ship
so they can survive. And one of the things we got to do is really challenge our men and our brothers to be empowered to take back their families. Because if you have a man, you know why so many women come to church and so many men don't? Is because the women come there because women are emotional. They come to church and they get a good feeling. They you know, shout and scream and they run around the church. They feel good. And the man come there and say, I'm not feeling none of this stuff. You know why? Because I can't get a job and I can't provide for my family. And a man was created to provide and to protect. And if he can't leave the service and go home equipped to do that, then he's not coming back to church. And us pastors, we say we get this little power trip on having the power of these women with the influence in them. Say, oh, that's all right. We're just going to pray for your husband. No, you go talk to this brother and help him. Say, brother, you need a job. Okay, I got a friend of mine that's a contractor. He'll hire you. Go down there and get some work from him so you can go feed your family. That's how you get a man involved in church. You want him involved in church, you give him some tools to be able to feed his family. You can't bring him there and talk about, hey, you know, you carry my briefcase, you're going to be blessed. Get out of here with that foolishness, man. Stop that mess.
I know, man. I know. Oh, my God. Yes, man. Yes, brother. And that's exactly where we find ourselves in this quagmire, man. And I really think there's a shakeup going on, man. And those who hear the voice of God knows our systems have to be updated.
Yes.
We got to turn the saints into people of streets on feet on the streets,
Mm-hmm.
who go and infiltrate. I tell you the story here. Pastor Randall Lassner Moses, who pastors the Calvary Baptist Church, who just came into the pastoralship just recently. One of the ladies in this church, her name is Minister for God, and when she came to that church, they already had a youth ministry. And what she said was, I don't want to do youth ministry in the church. I want to do a youth outreach outside the church. So she went and started a program called Teens Be Heard. And what she has done is created a platform on Friday nights to let kids come out and express how they feel. No judgment zone. Just come and speak what you feel, and I'll rent a place out from 7 to 12 o'clock at night. We'll serve food. We'll sit around and let you just talk. And that thing took off.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And then when she comes to church on Sunday, these kids automatically follow her to church. So they consider her their minister. So, and because the pastor ain't intimidated, he's going, go ahead, girl, let God use you. Keep on doing what you're doing. He equips her with the stuff to continue to expand the ministry of Teens Be Heard. And I said, God, if we can get just that one model out and get these,
that's a great model.
On pulpit, look for Sunday morning, and get this girl out there to the teenagers, you get to the singles, you get to the widows, you get to the folk in jail, and get them all out the building. Get them out. Get them out. Get them out the building, and get them involved. Man, I tell you, I hope that's the model that we're coming into in this time.
Yeah, yes. Well, you know, Pastor, listen, if you need any help, you don't want to, you got an open platform here. I'm serious. You got an open platform. Anytime you got something going on, you want to promote, you can always, anytime I got an open Sunday, you can just come on and we can talk. You can talk about your programs, talk about your book. And anything that you need help with up there in Patterson, if I can get up there, I will. I'm down.
I'm telling you right now, we want to make sure we start using our 501(c)(3)s and tap into some of this money that was approved.
That's right.
You can start doing your research now, because I'm going to sit you around the table with my nonprofits. You're going to show wisdom of what we need to do to get some of these dollars that was just approved. So
I'm in a class for it right now.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm in a class for it right now, and all the stuff that I'm learning, I'm planning to share. So as soon as I finish that class, I'll definitely be in contact with you, and so we can try to share and get some things going on and get some of this funding. Because it's being offered. We might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah, man. I'm with you. Man. I'm here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Freedom Truth Radio Show. You might as well just know that you become part of Freedom Truth Radio Show family. So, because you're going to be on here, over and over. We're going to have you on again.
Anytime.
And definitely,
I'm here, man.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as your book comes out, I want to, do a promotion show for that, so we can get people knowing about it. Because this is a book that sounds like it could be implemented in business. And help people structure their programs. Yeah, that's good. That's what we want, because we got to go out there, man, and use it. Use the tools that Most High has given us, and make this world a better place. So with that in mind, thank you again, and I want to say good night to you and all my listeners. And we'll be joining you again, Pastor McDuffie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. God bless.
All right. All right, that was Pastor Michael McDuffie. For all of you, thank you for listening, and I hope that you got something out of this. If you have a nonprofit program, or you have a church, or you have any type of program that is within your community, I hope this will prompt you to getting more active and more productive, so we can have some positive results and change in our neighborhoods. Until next time, I think we're here next week. Are we here next week? Okay, I wasn't sure if you're closing for 4th of July, because it's in the middle. Yeah, it is in the middle of the week. All right, well, we are here next week. I'm not sure who my guest is, but you'll know about it soon enough. Thanks for listening to the Freedom Truth Radio Show. I'm signing off until next week. Good night.